love Diane. I love my bride. I mean, I truly love her, but I don't need her.
And it's you and me, babe, whatever comes. Knowing bigger hands are holding us, and the greatest days are ahead of us. Growing in love, learning to be a better us.
Hi guys, welcome to A Better Us and welcome to our home. We're so glad you're here.
So man, if I were to ask you what it is you need most from your wife, I think I might know what your answer would be.
I think so.
But today on A Better Us, we'll hear from marriage expert Jimmy Evans, and according to him, it might not be what you think.
And girls, if I were to ask you the same question, what is it that you need most from your husband? Chances are we would all have basically the same answer.
You mean the same answer as the guys?
No, something
Okay.
entirely different.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk around our kitchen island with our kitchen couples, as we call them,
Yeah.
our football legend for the CFL, Mike Pinball Clemens, and
His wife Diane,
Yeah.
as well as recording artist Dan McCauley and his wife Danielle.
so what are these greatest needs of husbands and wives?
Grab a coffee, stay with us, and you'll find out.
Affirmation.
Love.
To feel wanted and loved and accepted.
To feel like I belong. Communication.
Totally, communication.
Communication?
Yeah, I agree. Priorities and communications, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's to be heard and to be listened to and to know that you're being loved and listened to.
Yeah, basically what I was going to say, that you're appreciated and that what you're doing is noticed and understood as being something that you're giving.
Space. Yeah.
Probably acts of service.
Top need in marriage is to understand what it is my wife wants.
Time. Yes, right. Yes. I think time.
Time, quality time would be a big one.
You know the love language.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Probably the obvious one, the physical touch.
My top need, I'm guessing, would probably be to be appreciated and to be, I guess, wanted, I guess. I think we'll go with that.
I think time. I think time is something that quality time spent together.
Two very common expectations that people have when they get married is this: you're going to make me happy and you're going to meet my needs. Okay? And so we get married and we think, I'm going to get married and you're going to make me happy and you're going to meet my needs. Well, the first is this: your spouse cannot meet your deepest needs. Okay? You have four needs in your life that only God can meet: acceptance, identity, security, and purpose. And God meeting those needs in you is the basis of your happiness. I love Karen, and I'm so happy with Karen, but I could be happy without Karen. Karen loves me, and she's happy with me, but she could be happy without me because of Jesus. And if we say to another person, you're my life, and I can't live without you, that is a codependent statement. And I love Karen. I don't want to live without Karen. But the point is, Jesus makes me happy, not other people. And if your happiness depends on people, then you're literally just at the whim of how people are acting that particular day. Let me say this: in the midst of people who aren't doing what I want them to do, I can still be happy because of Jesus. Acceptance, identity, security, and purpose. He accepts me for who I am. I don't have to have whiter teeth and fresher breath or six-pack abs. You know, I have washboard abs. I just have a load of towels in right now. They're so precious to me, I cover them with padding. But Jesus accepts me for who I am right now. So acceptance, identity. He made me in my mother's womb, and He knows my real name. Your real name you get when you go to heaven. You'll get a white stone with your real name on it. Because the name you have right now is not your real name. When God made you in your mother's womb, He gave you a name that nobody else has. And part of the beauty of knowing God is He knows who you really are. He knows why. No person can tell you who you are. Only God can tell you who you are. So your sense of identity has to come from God if you're going to be whole and really live your life correctly. Security. Only God can make us truly secure. No army can make us truly secure. No medicine can make us truly secure. No weapon can make us truly secure, but the Spirit of God can make us truly secure. And purpose. I have a higher purpose for life than making a buck and spending it. I have a higher purpose of life than just going through another 24 hours of biological processes. I live for a king and a kingdom. And when I wake up every day, I do something that makes an eternal difference in people's lives. That's the purpose of my life. Acceptance, identity, security, and purpose. Only God can meet those needs. And it's called the principle of transference. If I don't depend on God to meet those needs, I automatically transfer the expectation of that to my spouse. I depend on God to solve my biggest problems. And I'm not going to put that expectation on you. My God is a big God, and I'm going to put faith in Him.
All right, we're here with our kitchen couples, Mike and Diane Clemens and Dan and Danielle McCauley. And that was some great teaching by Jimmy Evans. You know, we all have these deepest needs. Only God can meet acceptance, identity, security, and purpose. And it's kind of eye-opening to think that, you know, if we don't depend on God to meet those needs, we kind of transfer that onto our spouse, and it's kind of setting them up for failure.
You know what, as a woman, girls, I find it's automatic for me to kind of gauge my sense of acceptance by the mood of my husband.
Right.
If he's happy and everything's fine, I think, okay, I'm doing okay, everything's good, you know. But if he's having a bad mood or if he's going through a rough patch or whatever, then all of a sudden my world is shaking. He's, you know what, he is steady Eddie Rocket Gibraltar, but every once in a while there's yeah.
You mean I'm human?
Okay, sorry. I just want to clarify. I've never witnessed it.
I know. Stick around. Yeah. But I mean, for us girls, isn't it easy?
It can affect your self-image.
It can affect our self-image.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very eye-opening for me, that word eye-opening, when I was listening to Jimmy, thinking back to the times that I accused Dan of not meeting my needs. If I'm really honest, those were times that I wasn't in real intimate relationship with the Lord, and I was looking for Dan to fill that void, that gap between me and God, and he can't because he's not God.
Yeah,
It's you said something a second ago about we set ourselves up for failure when we do that. And sometimes I'll travel and I'll do some couples events, and during that we'll do a montage of love songs over the years. And as I look at all these love songs, these big declarations of this misshapen understanding of what love should be. These are too big of things to actually put on a person. And so you have people sing, "How am I supposed to live without you?" And like,
sounds codependent.
Exactly. That's exactly it. But that's what so much of our culture understands love to be, and it's misplaced.
That's a good point.
I know for me, with Mike traveling and playing football early in our marriage, I had that. Just what didn't feel secure, right? Because he was always on the road, and I was at home, and I felt like I was blaming him for me being miserable, right? And it was until I became sure of who I was, and I realized that, I needed to strengthen and spend that time when he was on the road in my Bible and reading the Word and just being grounded. It was until then that I realized, okay, you know what, I'm good.
That's right.
He doesn't have to, I can't live through his eyes or what he's doing. I have to be my own person, right? And I know as women, a lot of times we feel like we have to depend on our husbands for everything, but we have to be secure with who we are, and we find that through Jesus Christ.
That's it.
I think the health of the relationship is really based on that. I would often say that I love Diane, I love my bride. I mean, I truly love her, but I don't need her. And the fact is, if I need her, she's only a crutch, right? So it is actually the fact that I don't need her and I volitionally commit all that I am to her that actually makes it love.
Wow. That's good. That's good, Mike.
That's really good.
Remember the movie Jerry Maguire? Okay, Tom Cruise. Well, what was the famous line in there?
You complete me.
Okay, that's the one. I thought you were going to say, "Show me the money," but no.
What was that? Where you had me at hello? There were several.
Yeah. So Tom, he's looking across the room there, and all those ladies are in the room, and he looks at who is the actress? Renee Zellweger. Looks at her, and he says those famous lines, "You complete me," and all the women in the room go, "Oh."
Just butter. Yeah.
But
yeah.
the thing is, I think it's in Colossians in the Bible
Yeah.
where God says, "You are complete in me," or "We're complete in Him."
Right.
The Apostle Paul
Exactly.
says,
That's right.
and so it doesn't matter if you're single.
Right.
You can be every as
Exactly.
much fulfilled in life because we're complete in Him. We don't need, as you said, like someone,
That's right.
to complete me. And a lot of times, in life, when people tell their stories, like maybe it's their story of faith and God, they use a term like there was something missing. There was like an emptiness. And it probably goes back to one of those four deepest needs only God can meet: acceptance, identity, security, and purpose. There was something missing, and they need to depend on God to meet those needs.
I like that. So we are gonna, don't go anywhere, because when we come back to the kitchen, we're gonna talk, we've been talking about needs only God can meet, but there are certain needs that men and women have that we need to identify so that we can make a better us. Okay? So join us, come back.
The security that she's looking for is the will you still marry me, and again, do you love me? And if your time and effort looks like it's all elsewhere, in her eyes, the money doesn't matter at that point.
Hey friends, Ron and Ann here. We're so glad you're with us at A Better Us, and we pray your marriage is blessed as you take this in.
Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and enjoy this video.
When Karen and I got married, I just thought she's so weird because she's not like me. And we got in all these fights because we rejected each other's differences. You have different love needs. The men need, the four major needs of a man: honor is number one, sex. Number two, friendship with his wife, wants to be buddies, and domestic support. Women are not at all like that. Not that they don't have any of those needs. Number one need of a woman is security. Number two is open and honest communication. Number three is soft, non-sexual affection. And number four is leadership, not being dominated. They want their husband to be the initiator of the well-being of the home. All four of our major needs are different. And so when your spouse is telling you what they need from you, it's not anything that you need. It's not anything that you can relate to. The mega need of men is honor, and the mega need of women is security. They're almost complete opposites in that sense. And so if I'm going to be able to be intimate with you, it means I have to come out of my world into your world. If you could meet your own needs, you wouldn't have married me. You can't meet your own needs. You're depending on me. And if I'm going to meet your needs, it means I need to listen. I need to listen to what you're saying, and I need to believe it when you tell me you're different. We have different giftings and talents and things like that. And so we just have a different way of seeing the world. Now here's three types of differences in marriage. The number one is rejected differences. Roll your eyes, you're crazy. I told Karen, she used to tell me when we first got married, she would say something, I'd say, you're crazy. I just thought she's out of her mind. The second is tolerated differences. And that's women. Can't live with them, can't live without them. You know, it's not like I'm rejecting you, it's just like I'm judging you. You know, roll your eyes. The third is celebrated differences, and that is we're a team. Isn't it great that we don't have the same things in our lives? Isn't it great that God spread the giftings and talents and perspectives so together we make such a fantastic team? And when Karen and I got married, we rejected each other's differences. Today, we celebrate each other's differences. And so when you reject your spouse's differences, you reject them. And the ethic that fixes this is respect. Respect. Two ways that I respect you. One is I'm not going to talk bad about you. I'm not going to shame you and put you down for being honest about who you are. When you tell me what your needs are, it doesn't mean everything in you is right. It just means it's you. And I'm not going to run you down. I'm not going to browbeat you. I'm not going to be sarcastic with you. In fact, I'm going to praise you. One of the key the four indicators of divorce, the four predictors of divorce, number one predictor of divorce is negativity. When a negative tone sets up in your relationship, it is the most damaging thing that you can do to your relationship when you begin to pick on each other and begin to point out each other's faults. The number one thing you do to build your marriage is to praise your spouse. And when your spouse says something to you and you're trying to get it, you're trying to process it, don't say, man, that's weird. Just say, wow, that's so special. I'm going to have to meditate on that. You know, you're like on another level. I'm trying to get there. And it makes all the difference in the world.
All right, we're back with our kitchen couples, Mike and Diane, Dan and Danielle. And so there's definite differences, as he's teaching there, between men and women. And we know there's a lot of differences, but just with our needs, what are the kind of these
Well, I like
love
that he
needs we
broke
all
it down
have?
into mega needs. Like, really, let's just focus on that mega need. What is that top need? Top need for a man, honor and respect.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting.
And for women was security.
Yeah.
And it's a little different than the need only God can meet,
Yeah.
because we talked about acceptance, identity, security, and purpose earlier in the program. But this security refers to more in the relationship, security, knowing that he's there for you or she's there for you.
I like the question when we do marriage seminars across the country. You always say to the guys that to meet that security need in her, she needs what? She needs you to answer?
Well, to answer one question every day. One question, if you can do it in your words and actions, if you answer the one question, and that is, would you marry me all over again?
I love that.
And what is it you could say or do to help meet that security need in her?
That's so true.
yeah.
Because I ask Mike that question a lot. I ask him,
What was
do
my
you love me? Would you marry me again? So it's funny you say that because I do ask him that.
That's security for you.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, absolutely. So it's funny.
I hope that's halfway joking, because you do know that. I mean, the real question is, would you marry me?
That plays into his
Exactly, right?
But really, for women, the average woman has about 11 negative thoughts about herself every day.
Wow.
And so we deal with a lot of internal stress, and we need that security kind of reinforced in us from our husbands, just in the lateral this relationship. Every single day. It's a part of life, really.
Absolutely.
So that's something that, like, we as guys wouldn't know and wouldn't necessarily manufacture, but it is an opportunity while we're having this discussion for men on the street. Step up, man, let's step up. Now, it's a challenge for us to make sure that we know, our bride knows that we love her, that we honor her, that we cherish her. So see if we can step up our game, get a little competitive. See if your rec night hockey this week can be taking your game up in your own home to another level.
Good. I love that you call her your bride. Because you guys have been married how long?
25 years.
25 years. And she's still your bride.
Still
All
my
the time.
bride. Yes.
I love that.
Actually, I had trouble thinking about anything else he said after he said sex.
But you know what, Dan?
Dan, I love you.
Oh, number two.
But how polar opposite could our needs be? Sex, the men want sex, and the women want non-sexual touch.
That's when I tuned back in. I was like, what now?
So what's going on in his brain is not going on in my brain.
Okay,
Same
well,
thing.
let's back up to the mega needs, because this is a family show.
It's part of life. It really
Yeah,
is.
oh, absolutely.
It really is.
But for guys, it's this honor and respect thing that is pretty important, and so
Aretha Franklin has no she
Oh,
have
yeah,
no authority there, right?
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yes, but
I heard that the writer of that song was actually a man. The person that
see,
wrote
now the
that
light
song,
shines.
very true. Respect was a man.
Yep, absolutely.
Because we're wired so differently, though, it is an act of service. It's an act of love because we're not naturally, it's foreign to us what they want.
That's what he said. You have to step outside of
Yeah.
yourself to do it.
But what I find is when I do that, in return, my needs are met in return because we end up loving one another in an act of love.
I like that.
So it might be for the woman realizing, okay, he's got a big need for honor and respect. I need to say things to him and build him up because he needs that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to swallow our pride or whatever it is that's holding us back from saying, you know what. You did a great job today. I love you. And
I just want to say, and sometimes you might be thinking, you know what? There's not a lot to honor there in my husband. We're kind of having some hard times right now. But you know what? If you look for something to honor in him, a man will rise to the level of honor that his wife gives him. So look for something,
You tend to
anything.
find what you're looking for.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
right feelings follow right action. Yeah. So when you do, then the feelings will
Exactly.
come.
Very good.
I remember after a seminar, a couple came up to us and said,
I know what
and
you're
the
saying.
husband said, you know what? and my wife and I have had this discussion before, but she tends to talk down to me, like a parent to child thing, and scold me for things, and I said, and it just makes me feel awful. And I said, well, you know why? That's a direct attack on your biggest need for honor and respect, and so when she kind of had the light bulb come on in her head, she, you know what? I got to stop that, because that's really an attack on something that he really needs.
But I'm sure she didn't mean it.
Yeah.
I mean, as mothers, we're all mothers here, we're used to solving problems with our kids. And so we kind of slip into that mode, don't we? If there's something happening with our husband, our minds kind of goes to, okay, how can we fix it? How can we make it right? And we don't mean to talk down to him, but it just we slip. And so we've got to catch
It's an
ourselves.
expression of love for you,
Yeah.
but it's being misinterpreted. And I was thinking on the flip side too, a lot of guys, if they hear, oh, my wife needs security, well, I'm going to work and I'm going to make sure we earn, you're misinterpreting that need too. Because the security that she's looking for is the will you still marry me again, do you love me? And if your time and effort looks like it's all elsewhere, in her eyes, the money doesn't matter at that point. It's like, do you love me? So we can misinterpret what the other needs.
And it's important because I know it took me a while, but I realized Mike, like I said, he travels and he speaks a lot. And one particular time we were driving home from a speaking engagement, and he would sometimes ask, well, how was it? How did I do, right? And that one night we got in the car and I looked at him and I said, babe, you are amazing. You knocked it out the park tonight. And he looked at me like, really? I was? Like, it was like, just that, letting him know, like, you're awesome. Like, you are awesome.
Right?
It was like, he was like, absolutely. And that's right. And it's important. It's important that as women that we do that we honor our husbands that way, and we let them know that they're amazing.
And I want to say, yes, really quickly here, that this conversation is important. It's important to know that the best people at what they do in the world, right, all have coaches, right? The best in the world have coaches, and they have yet what is the most important relationship that exists on the face of the earth, right? Many times we go and we don't get this valuable information, right? People become great at things because they are coached, they are mentored, and it's really important to be able to share this kind of information and really be able to kind of to have that greater understanding, because we do want to do the right things. We want our marriage to work. Nobody wants their marriage to fail. We don't want those things. And so really adhering and having this conversation, I think, very enlightening.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, well, thanks, kitchen couples, as we like to call you now. And so that is a great conversation. And so more to come with A Better Us.
Stay with us.
Well, on A Better Us, we always want to put some great resources into your hands, and there's really nothing better that we've found than Jimmy Evans' book, Marriage on the Rock. For over 25 years, he's been counseling couples and teaching on marriage, and it's fabulous stuff.
If you've been enjoying what you've been hearing in this program, a lot of it is taken directly from what Jimmy has written in this book. Get your copy, go to abetterus.tv to find out, because we really want you to enjoy this book. We know you will.
There's been research that has been able to predict with a 94% accuracy rate whether a couple will succeed or fail in their marriage based solely on how they fight. Think about that. 94% accuracy rate. And it has to do with what the researcher, John Gottman, calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's what he calls
That
these.
says it all, doesn't it?
And the first of these is criticism.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, every conflict begins with a critical comment, but that can sometimes then lead to number 2, which is
defensiveness. And it seems so humanly natural. If I get criticized, I want to get defensive, but defensiveness escalates a conflict.
Right, it never resolves the
No.
issue when we defend ourselves, and that leads to number 3, which is
Contempt, which is the opposite of respect. And respect is really the holy ground of keeping a marriage healthy.
right, and that kind of contempt is anything that makes you feel that tall. It's a belittling remark.
Yes.
Way to go, Einstein, regular genius, aren't you? Those kinds of things. And that then leads to number 4, which is stonewalling.
Yeah.
Stonewalling.
It's a powerful place where you've really withdrawn emotionally from your spouse.
Yeah, if you don't leave physically, you leave emotionally,
Right.
and you become almost like a stone wall.
Hard heart.
Those are the 4 things that he's looking for when he's able to make this incredible prediction.
Right.
And you might be thinking, this doesn't sound good. We got some of this in our relationship. Hey, welcome to marriage. We all have some of this.
Yes.
What he's looking for are those couples that don't know how to short circuit that whole system. Those
Right.
4 things.
Really, the good news is every couple can learn how to short circuit that system.
Right.
There's hope.
Hi, we hope you're enjoying the show.
You know, our vision at A Better Rust is to see every marriage become a loving union that creates a safe family haven, building a legacy of hope for future generations.
That's why we feel it's so important to invest in marriage relationships through producing a new episode of A Better Us every week.
Absolutely. If you feel as we do that marriages are worth investing in, then please consider joining us as a member of A Better Us with a monthly donation of $25.
You'll be making a big difference in lives and families, and we'll send you 2 of our special mugs, the mugs that you see our kitchen couples using each program.
Absolutely. And be sure to send us your mugshot selfie, and we'll post it on our Facebook page and on our website.
Simply visit abetterus.tv and click donate to set up your automatic monthly giving. God bless you, and thank you so much for making this program possible and helping us strengthen marriages.
So we can all become a better us.
On today's program, we've talked a lot about our needs.
Those deepest needs that each of us has in our marriage.
And of course, those mega needs that we all have, honor and respect for him.
And security for her. But what about those deepest needs that only God can meet? You remember what they were: acceptance, identity, ultimate security, purpose.
And maybe like us, you've been guilty of placing those expectations on your spouse.
Yes, we've all done it, hoping our spouse will meet those needs, and in doing so, setting him up for failure.
If you're thinking, yeah, I've done that, or I'm doing that right now, and you'd like some help connecting with the only one who can meet those deepest needs, we want to invite you to call our prayer line.
The number is on your screen, and you need to know that 24/7 there's someone there to answer your call and introduce you to Jesus, the greatest source of help for you personally and for your marriage.
We also have some great resources available through our website, abetterus.tv, including a free weekly marriage moment email to give you encouragement for your marriage.
Thanks again for stopping by. And remember, with God, there is always hope to become a better us.
That's right. Hey friends, we really hope you're enjoying the marriage conversations here with A Better Us on our YouTube channel.
We have hundreds of more helpful marriage videos designed to give you hope and tools to make your marriage better.
And you can see just a few options we think you might like here and here.
Enjoy! Oh, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here so you don't miss out on all the great marriage help we have coming your way soon.